We go from Wild Goose Chase yesterday to Wild Moose Chase or Wild Meese Chase as it may be today. Back on Layton, back on the moose grind. We know that the Emerald Coast and the Great One Fallow Deer are coming soon, so gotta keep grinding for moose. Gotta keep on trying. Maybe we get lucky, and the difference that would make in terms of maybe returning to the bear grind and all of that would be massive. But let's get started. Let's not take a shot that far and just end up screwing that up. What's going on, guys? Got a fabled ashen moose today. Very nice. Do you know what rack? Piebald today? What did we kill? It was, Friday? We finally shot an albino. It was the biggest male. I think I scored 91. But we got a rare on this grind, so progress, perhaps? We need to work on your everyone pings. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm doing it right. I promise you, there's something bugged with the Discord browser thing. Because I type, like, at EVE or whatever, and I click the everyone thing, and it still tags that no matter what. Moose grind, I know. I want it to be over. It was nice to get a rare, though. Like, if we could get some big rares. You remember on Medved, we killed, like, a fairly early on, a 240 piebald or something? And actually, I didn't record it because I didn't know it was a piebald. Through the brush and all that, but, like, that was enjoyable. That was the one thing Medved has definitely done better for us. How about we both smoke Great One Meese today? I like it. Can I have... What, you got oak last time. Yeah, give me the oak fur type. You can have whatever you want. There's probably someone named everyone. There is, but that's not who it's tagging. It tags, like, someone named Ev, I'm guessing. Or Eve, potentially. It's just taking the first match. But that's not what it's supposed to do when you click the specific thing. Whenever I try making money, I end up spending too much money on wraps. Oh, same. Literally, at some stage, probably like 3, 4, maybe even 5 years ago now, I used to just buy thousands of rounds of ammo, whether it was 454, 7mm, 338, the weapons back then, base game weapons, that were used the most, I would just 5,000 rounds at a time. Just get them out of the way so I never had to buy ammo again, or that was the idea anyway. At some stage I stopped doing that, and started trying to just, like, let's see how much money I can actually accrue in this game. I often wonder how much more it would be by now if the cosmetics didn't exist. Because almost every video, I'll customize some weapons for the loadout. I enjoy that stuff. Like, it's fun to... I've always enjoyed crafting the loadout itself. Just whatever weapons we go with. But the added fun of getting to customize what they look like is quite cool. So was that him that Warren called while he was drinking? I also saw such things, Miles, and it is probably the biggest sad I've ever seen. Especially, like, given the estimate. And then what it still was? Huge sad. Maybe I should try that soup. We'll see. What's going on, Bree? I've had the most insane luck the past few days. A gold melon mallard, 2 diamond whitetail, and a diamond cape buffalo. Nice. Look at the whitetail for so long I almost threw my mouse by accident. That would have been awkward. How would you have shot it? I've been watching for years. This is my first stream. Welcome on in. Hopefully it'll be a good one. Maybe today is in fact the day that we can get a Great One Moose. We shall see. We put wings on the Meese. Maybe it happens. Let's get going up this way. Would you ever do a delete? Would you ever do a delete diamond challenge? I don't even know what that is. Is that a thing? What's the rifle you have? This is the 300 from the Yukon Valley DLC. Highly recommend it. You can get the 338 bolt action from the newest weapon DLC, the Hunter Power Pack. I would say the 300 is just marginally better. Power-wise, they're almost identical. Seemingly, like, sometimes the 300 performs better, sometimes the 338 performs better. They're right about the same. The place where the 300 kind of, for me, takes the lead, there's no, this is going to sound weird, but there's no change to the scope when I chamber this next round. So we're just going to shoot into the mountains here. You see the crosshair stay still? If you do that with the 338, there's just a little subtle, like, movement to the left. It's realistic. Like, if you're working the bolt, you're going to push the gun to the left just slightly if you're right-handed and shooting a right-handed gun. However, the 300 doesn't have that. That makes it better. A little bit faster on the follow-up shots. What does a defensive animal do? You know, I don't know the actual point of the defensive state. Often, they'll eventually flee. Sometimes they seemingly just stand there. I think they get stuck in it. Maybe that was a precursor to aggressive or something. I'm actually not sure what that even exists for. Meese on Rev or Goofy like Medved but better and worse? Goofy how? Grinding for a Great One Moose on any map is far easier than grinding a Great One Whitetail. What? I disagree with that, but to be fair, I don't do a ton of grinding, so I could be wrong. Let's cross right here. Call the Wild needs to add bighorn sheep and flowing/moving water. Well, they have bighorn sheep, they just don't look good. So I would agree with you if we just go with, like, improved bighorn sheep. Flowing or moving water, it has kind of always surprised me they didn't ever do it. I sometimes wonder if it's engine limitations. I think that's probably what they've said in the past. But almost every map has a river on it. It would just really add a nice chunk of realism. So ready for Emerald Coast? I think that's going to be a breath of fresh air for everybody in the community. We haven't had a new map full of new species since Reventuli. That's a year ago. Like, that's a long time in Call of the Wild terms. Usually it's every 6 months, but because of the New England update that mostly I think was focused on, like, adding gun customization, some QA fixes. QA? Quality? No, QOL fixes. I think they kind of chose to do a map that wouldn't have new species to be able to handle that other stuff. And sadly, I wish it would have been a more popular map, but it's just not as good as most. What is your favorite map? This one right here, Layton Lakes. I've always enjoyed this map. It's got a nostalgia factor for me, for sure. But it's also the species. It's got, I believe, tied for the most antlered animals. And, like, blacktail moose, whitetail, elk, all these things are, like, my favorite type of species to hunt. Big game animals with antlers. I do want to say Emerald Coast may end up taking over, because there's so many deer species. They're not my favorite deer species to hunt. That will be interesting to pay attention to. It depends on how the deer hunting is going to be. What do you guys think, too? Tomorrow, EW should have a live stream. Are we going to see Emerald Coast or are we not? If I'm not mistaken, Jaxy said something to the effect of they swapped something around, or like Emerald Coast wasn't ready. I know he said something on stream that gave me reason to believe, like, maybe they're not showing it yet, but I can't remember exactly the phrase. 60 on Emerald Coast? That's quite a lot. You put my name in the title of the video, it's Chase. I am, in fact, hunting for you. Tomorrow we're seeing it, I almost guarantee it. I hope so. It feels like that would fit their pattern. It's basically going to be June. That leaves what? No, what's that? It's a good one. Normal release pattern in the area of 3 weeks. If I were to predict it, and I shouldn't say this on stream because someone's going to misunderstand my prediction as a this is definitely when it's coming out, so let me be very clear. This is a prediction. I have no idea, but they typically release maps on a Tuesday. I think 3 weeks from tomorrow. That's when I feel like they would do it. Sandbar, axes, red deer, hog deer, rooster deer, fallow deer. That's a pretty good lineup. I like it. Deleted Diamond is where you compete against another player and you kill every animal on the map. If one person kills, let's say, a whitetail, the other person can't kill a whitetail. I'm missing something because I don't understand the competition part yet. Was half open yet early access today? Based on, again, I can only speak to, like, past EW patterns. I don't know why we're just, like, running around, but I guess we're going to do that right now. The previous couple of early accesses have been, what, maybe a week before release, if even that? So it'll probably be a bit. I think we're going to see it because he was going to show us kangaroo models because he couldn't spawn those on Hirsch. Oh, true. I like that. I think you're probably on something. Really hoping we have... Oh, I'm really hoping you are correct. We have early access on the 16th because I'll be on vacation after. I kind of hope that we get it earlier because I think it's around that time Kyla's family's coming up here to visit, so I don't want to just be like, hey guys, good to see you. I'm going to live in this office for the next week. So that will be interesting, but we'll see. It do be work. Best classic Cabela's game there is? Is that what that's meant to say? I think so. Best classic Cabela's game. There's a bunch of good ones. Let's actually run up through this section. I'm curious, do you guys, when it comes to grinding streams, or let's just say Great One hunts, because half of this isn't going to be grinding, do you guys enjoy the aspect of, like, looking for new zones and stuff during a stream, or is it better if we're just fast traveling, shooting moose, the whole deal? Anyway, Dangerous Hunts 09. I mean, for me, that's where I got my name, so I gotta go with it. What's up, Zaggy? All set, got my fallow grind set up, and already got 15 diamond fallow deer. Good lord. They are... I know Kyla's been grinding, she's killing diamonds left and right. I think that's what I'm gonna do for tomorrow's video. Do a little fallow grind setup thing, get some tents placed, maybe see if we can get anything. Tell me all about your new fishing rod there, pal. Have you caught anything on it yet? I have not casted it. Literally, I got it the day that Shadow was at the vet being spayed, so, like, priorities. She can't get the scar wet. I mean, I could just go fishing without her, leave her in the house, but that's rude. So I'll wait. Yeah, I'm good, Zaggy. How about you? Best part, in my opinion, is the commentary from the YouTuber. As far as, like, the stream stuff goes, I gotcha. Why would you start grinding fallow if they're resetting them? If you're talking to me, I'm setting up for the grind, not so much the, like, actually grinding. I'm afraid the fallow zones will change after the update, so you're setting up now. At least getting a framework in place, like getting tents and everything in the general area. If I gotta move them some, that's fine. But here's the way I'm looking at it. The Fallow Deer Great One update is the same time as the Emerald Coast update. So I'm not going to grind Fallow Deer Great Ones for probably, at least exclusively, for a couple of weeks. I imagine we'll hunt a lot of Emerald Coast, so I might as well set it up now, and at least be able to grind effectively when I get an hour here or there, as opposed to wait, start hunting Emerald Coast, and then when I get a chance, I gotta set it up. I may be off on some areas. I may not get to, you know, have the most efficient of grinds, but at least I'll have something. How do you get so many diamonds? It's amazing how many diamonds you get. These days, as far as I know, I'm nowhere near the top as far as rates go for getting diamonds, but I just shoot a bunch of stuff. I don't have any special methods. I don't herd manage. Basically, what I do is I hunt the thing that is currently active. What I mean by that is, if it is currently moose drink time, as of course it is because we're grinding moose, I'm going to be hunting areas where I expect to see moose. If it's whitetail drink time, I'm going to where there's going to be whitetails, and so on. You're a great streamer. Keep up the hard work. Well, I'll definitely do my best. Thank you so much. 5,000 hours in game, 6,213 to be exact. How many hours do you have on Call of the Wild? Imagine that. I accidentally just answered that. Out of curiosity, why don't you herd manage on long grinds? There's a couple of reasons for it. The primary reason is, for me, I'm worried it will ruin any species, because, as I just mentioned, right, like the Fallow Deer Great Ones are coming out soon. The first thing I'm going to do is go and hunt Emerald Coast and look to try to get all the new diamonds. That's been a big thing for me for forever. That's why I've been hunting Tundra Bean Geese and Greylag Geese like nuts over on Reventuli. I always try to get one of every diamond in the game. To me, that's more important than getting the great ones. That's just a me thing. I'm not saying one or the other is a better approach. The other thing is, I spent probably 5 years of my YouTube career getting accused of cheating and hacking and all this stuff because, as mentioned earlier, I shot a lot of diamonds. I mean, 4 years ago, I was the person you see now all over the Call of the Wild niche that just plays for like hours on end, you know, 12-hour grinds, whatever, because I just lived in my apartment on my own. I had nothing to do. So I just played a lot. I got a lot of diamonds and stuff. And all the time, like, you know, either devs are spawning stuff on your map, or you're cheating, you're hacking, all these types of comments I would get. So, I spent basically the entirety of those 5 years always trying to, you know, do everything by the book. I would pass up on trophies often. I remember one particular instance. I was making a Yukon Valley video, it was in multiplayer, and I was hopping around between a couple of servers. I had a diamond and a rare or something already in that video. New server. Joined another one, whether it was because of a crash or I just got bored, I don't know. And there were 2 albino bison in the same herd, 2 females. I just walked away from that because it's just like, that's too much for a video. People are gonna say I'm hacking again, even though I'm just playing the game a lot. So, I say all that to say, I can't just exploit to get all my stuff and expect people to not think that's how I get other stuff. So, what I mean by that is, if I'm exploiting, and whether or not you think herd managing is an exploit, I personally do. if I'm doing that to get great ones, who's to say that I'm not doing some kind of other stuff to get other things? So I just won't cross that line as a personal thing. I don't care if you do it. I don't care if anyone out there does it. Personally, I won't do it. Selfishly, I would much prefer seeing you chase new species and exploring the new map than watching a boring grind. Why don't watch other content creators? I can't, like, I enjoy grinds and stuff. I really do in this game. It kind of fits that progress-based type of thing. It's the reason I enjoy Farming Sim, like we're streaming right now over on Twitch. It's the reason I enjoy games like Subnautica. A progress-based thing, I can really get into. And grinds in a way feel like that. Every diamond, every rare, it feels like progress towards this ultimate goal. I can't do it every day. I have to switch it up. Thanks for the advice. Keep up the banger vids. I will definitely do my best. Thank you. Let's see. Can we drop that in? Not quite. Gotta go just below the spine and into the lungs. I don't know if we did, but going over there anyway. What's up, All-Star? What area of PA? I'm like West Central PA. Snakehead doesn't have the patience to grind. It definitely does take a lot of patience and time commitment, and that's why great ones are generally, considered so special, because they do take a lot of time to get. No fear, Muskrat is here. What's going on? Surprised all those moose don't bolt. They must have been at like 201 meters. Like they were right on the line of hear the shot and go alert and just flee. What gun? This is the 300 from the Yukon Valley DLC. Do you hunt in real life? Yes. There are probably 60 or 70 videos on this channel of my real life hunts over the past going on 5 years now. I have shot, counting one that is not on YouTube yet, but I've filmed it, 4 bucks on film, and I think 8 does. Unfortunately, no turkeys. I'm good, Muskrat. Just chilling, getting going on the moose grind again. Last time, I think it was Friday's stream, we killed a little albino. Level 2. Big sad that our first Layton rare was literally 2 points above a bronze. However, I just mentioned progress. That does feel like progress. You should make IRL fishing videos. I don't know if I can, edit a fishing video to be interesting. I guess we shot that thing in the spine or something because it's not dead. I don't know. I'd consider it. We'll see. Maybe one day. Do you have a Discord community? The link is there. Nightbot's got the join the hashtag Schuster Army Discord link right there for you. How do you know when you can run or not? So the basic rule of thumb is you can run to within about 150 meters of any animal, then walk to 120, crouch to 80, crawl from there. I say that requires you to not have a backpack on, and I would recommend having both level 1 and level 2 of the soft feet skill. Those numbers really only apply if you have those skills and are not wearing a backpack. Wearing a backpack causes a ton of excess noise in this game. I don't know that I'm a fan of the fact that it does that, but I guess they wanted to make a drawback to being able to carry so much more equipment, which is funny because now they've made all the new weapons so light that it basically doesn't matter. But yeah, those are the numbers. 150 running, 120 walking, 80 crouching, crawl from there. Do you fish as well? Not as much as I'd like to, but I do fish a good bit. Really getting into fly fishing. Not this spring, but the previous spring, so 2022. I don't know what the deal was. So we have a creek that runs through our front yard. Very, very accessible fishing here. And I do, I fish there several times a week. It's just creek chubs this year. Last year, I don't know, somebody dumped a bucket of trout in this creek in this particular stretch, and we caught a lot. It was a ton of fun. Not so this year, and they don't stock it, so I truly don't know where those fish came from. That's a good one again. Seeing some big ones, that's definitely a good sign. Do you play Call of Duty? No. I also don't play Call of Duty. Fly fishing's where it's at. It's so much fun. I've been bitten by the bug too, and it doesn't help that Beak has basically been my fly fishing mentor, because what happened was, so I had one fly rod, and I still don't know all the things, but it was a heftier fly rod. Better for maybe catching things like bass, big trout, and all that. For fishing for natives, maybe panfish, smaller ones, I was going to get another rod, and I was talking to my dad about it, because I went fly fishing with Beak. He's one of the moderators in the Discord, by the way, if you don't know who I'm talking about. We went fly fishing together. I was telling him he let me use one of his fly rods. And my dad's like, oh, I have an old Fenwick you can use. I haven't used it in like 30 years. So I used that one a little bit. And I still got roped into buying a new fly rod. So here we are. Now I have 3. Have you ever gotten a bear in real life? No, I've never actually hunted for bears. There's a part of PA that the... What's it doing up there? Oh, they're just coming in. Nice, that worked out well. Anyway, the best one. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. How's it going, man? Thank you for the support. It is very much appreciated. To answer the bear question, there's a part of PA that the rifle deer season and rifle bear season overlaps by like just a day or 2. So I know a couple of people. That's not the bull. Where'd he go? There's camouflage in there. All right, we'll get him on the next run. I know a couple of people that have shot black bears while deer hunting. I've also never seen, other than in Tennessee, a black bear while deer hunting. If you haven't watched that video, there's some pretty cool bear footage. There's a decent chunk of mature buck footage, like a lot of good stuff in that. If you haven't checked it out. But yeah, never have I seen a bear in any way that I could actually hunt them. Fly fishing for lightweight fish, I use a 5 or 6 weight rod. That was the one that I just bought was a 5 weight. I think it's 9.5 foot. It was a pretty thick one. So I've got my dad's old Fenwick, which is it's a 5 or a 6 as well. And then I almost want to say the one I had before was a 7. It was a big one. I bought that. My mom got, this is when I was like 14. My mom got me a gift card to a local like sporting goods store. And I just didn't know what to buy with it, so I just bought a fly rod like 10 years ago. Never caught a single thing with it till last spring. All those times. I really thought dingoes would be on the new Australia map. Those and water buffalo feel like 2 of the bigger, air quote, misses to me. I think if they added those 2 species, and we'll have to see, but as I understand it, wouldn't the outback region, biome, maybe is a better word, be an okay place for dingoes to live? How old are you? I am 25. A 7 is borderline for steelhead or bass? Maybe it's a 6. I know it's much beefier though than like any of the ones I've gotten to borrow from Beag or the new ones I've got, my dad's Fenwick, all those. Do you think Bantang will be class 9? Didn't Beard basically... I feel like he more or less confirmed that. Didn't he say, like, crack out the big guns? He made some kind of comment that made me think they are. This is what happened. I gotta write down everything he says. Because literally every stream, people ask me questions. I'm like, didn't Beard say... They missed a couple important species, but put red deer on yet another map? I mean, to me, red deer in Australia are fairly, like, expected, I guess. They could have done it without, but I do think some people would have been like, come on, no red deer here? Plus, EW really has leaned into the Great One theme, and you can get a Great One red deer, so I'm not entirely shocked they put them there. Jaxy confirmed that Bantang will be a 9. There you go. Is the Angler and Console? Not yet. It's supposed to happen this summer. I would wager that this counts as summer, even though it's technically still spring, so hopefully it won't be long. Too many red deer maps? Call it for what it was, lazy? I mean, they have 8 new species. I don't know that it was necessarily lazy, but maybe something else could have filled that slot. I think if they added 13 new species, though, or sorry, 13 species, 8 new ones, I don't know that anybody would have complained. It just feels like another thing they got thrown in there. Technically 8 new species plus 2 reworks. Fallow deer is a rework, right? What's the other one? I'm missing some. Off to work, just stopped in to say, have a great one stream. Thank you, man. We need all the luck we can get. Appreciate it. Hope you have a good shift. Hopefully it goes by fast. No air animals. What about airbud? I'd really like to have seen emus or feral camels. So are emus hunted? I know like feral cats, feral camels, that's a big deal down there. They're like major pests. Best map for black bear grinding. It's hard for me to imagine anything being better than Silver Ridge Peaks. Layton's not terrible. I think it was Saturday's video. We came here, did a multiplayer hunt. I checked some bear zones. It wasn't bad. I just don't think it's going to be as... I don't even want to say good as Silver Ridge Peaks, because it's not even great anymore. Oh, feral goats, that's right. Does that mean a pop reset for them? Good question. I doubt it. Because it's just a model, like it's just a visual change for us. I don't know that they need to reset the pops to change that. Hi, bye, drive by. Happy Memorial Day to everyone. Remember the reason for the season. You know what? I didn't even get to say that today because I was making my stupid moose joke, but appreciate you stopping in. Enjoy your, hopefully, family festivities, whatever you got going on. There are quail in the new map. I have to think those are going to be annoying. Just based on bobwhite quail. Is that what they are? Yeah, they're bobwhites. Mississippi isn't bad, you just have to figure the bears out. So, do they drink along... There's so many long stretches of water. That's the reason that I think Silver Ridge Peaks is the best map. Because you at least only have to worry about particular areas. You've got the lakes and such that do make it pretty, like, obvious where you need to go. I think at the end of this run we may check a couple of spots that are places that I know moose spawn, places that we maybe should give a look at. It just may not involve a whole ton of Houston. 8,500 to put a bison on a stand. Indeed. Have you been playing again? Is the stuttering fixed? When did the birds get added to Virhunga? I was watching a Virhunga vid earlier. It was talking about birds. Oh, that was with New England, I guess. I only know that because I remember the backfilled species were announced when I was in Tennessee, so that had to be sometime last winter. How should I react to a warning call? Does that mean they are fleeing? Sometimes a warning call will mean they're fleeing. Most times it means they are alerted. So they're probably standing there. If you're moving around very much more, they're going to spook. What I would do is just stop, scan in that direction. If you can spot it, great. Move in, make your shot, whatever you got to do. If you can't spot it, I'd probably wait 30 seconds and then slowly start moving that direction if you do intend to shoot whatever species that it is. Not fixed, but I'm pushing through. Found 2 albino bison. Nice. What is your favorite wild meat? I'm going to have 2 answers to this. It's venison in the fact that that's the one that we consume the most of, and I love it. We'll have it with, I mean, literally anything. My mom and dad were here yesterday. We had a little, like, get-together thing. Plus, Kyla and my mom were gardening. My dad and I were fixing the light in my basement bathroom that's been out for, like, a year. But when we're all done with those projects, made a venison backstrap. We do venison tacos, venison, like, breakfast sausage. My dad makes probably every year 100, 200 pounds of, like, snack sticks, bologna, all kinds of different venison stuff. And all of it is fantastic. So, there's that. But I've only ever had elk once. It's definitely better than venison. I just don't have the ability to get it year in and year out. Do you think they'll ever do a Great One elk? I think Great One Roosevelt elk are going to be within the next 3. Because they are insisting that they're... Hey! There's a pie. I think he's a gold too. Even though he's a level 3. Have we turned a corner? We had an albino within the last, like, 100 kills. The biggest male I've ever seen. Anyway, what was I saying? I completely forgot. Oh, yeah. I don't have the... I don't think that is what I was answering. Was I talking about elk still? Why no more moose grind on Medved? Honestly, Medved was just kind of making me sad. Like, the grind was okay there, but the map just, it was almost like a snow blindness effect. I just didn't want to continue to be there. I prefer to hunt them here on Layton where I just enjoy the map. Moose are golds at 193, I think. I guarantee he's going to score 194. This estimate's too weird for him to not score 194, but I'm pretty sure he still makes gold. Listen, you. I didn't ask for your input. Up high. Yes. We had a 91 scoring albino. moving on up just a little bit. Okay, he definitely kind of schmails us. I think we can get that shot in there. Cool. Get his buddy there too, I think. Make sure. Only pie I like is magpie. I mean, magpie geese are pretty cool. The map isn't optimal for repetitive hunts. For some reason, that map gets boring. You're talking about Medved? I agree, 100%. I can't even describe why, but it just... Snow blindness is my best explanation. Like, I just don't like looking at the map all the time. Managed to get a diamond piebald mallard duck a few days ago, and I didn't even realize it was a piebald till I claimed it. Nice. Always a welcome surprise. Let us see. What time is it? It's like, yeah, right at the end of the time. He's got a good wide set rack for that level 3 rack. Get a quick photo of this dude just since... Excuse me, Sir 12. This isn't going to be the raccoon dog all over again. Get out of the way. Anyway, we don't seem to see this much, so we'll commemorate the moment. Do we have a gold rare on Layton? We do. 194.37. All of, well, I guess it wasn't a guaranteed gold, but all of 0.28 above the requirement. Hard shot. We will take that. The question almost becomes... Do we replace a diamond moose in the Layton trophy cabin with a gold piebald? We could consider that. We'll see. Cool though. I'm really happy with that. Been complaining for, I mean, every stream ever for the last, like, I don't know how long we've been on Medved. I mean, on Layton. 2 months? We just never kill rares here. Now we have 2 in the last couple hundred kills. Maybe the RNG has gone our way. I'm not on Layton because it's easier to grind? No. I don't know if it's easier or more difficult to grind. Numbers-wise, it's been about the same for me. I end up getting 20 or 25 moose per hour. Gold rare for the win, we will take those. How do you not have a dog named Shadow? None of them look like Shadow. Wasn't there mention of a fleeing vocalization being added with the update? Yeah, I don't know if there's gonna, like... I have to think that's kind of, Way of the Hunter-esque. Way of the Hunter has, when animals are fleeing, you can kind of hear the branches breaking and stuff as they run off. However, I was talking to Ormy. If you guys don't know Ormy, he has been in the community for forever. I think he was an EW mod. Now he's working on a VR hunting game. It's a really cool deal. But anyway, he did point out to me that even Classic really has like a fleeing call. When you're calling in like a deer and it flees, there's almost this horse gallop sound that happens. It's kind of an indication like, hey, you just spooked that. So I guess in that way, EW kind of had a fleeing warning thing first. Shot my first 5-star. What species, man? RNGesus has smiled upon you. If he can continue to do so until a great one shows up, that would be excellent. Are you going to play that VR game? I don't have a VR setup right now. The biggest difficulty, though, is that VR games generally don't translate well to viewing. Most VR games aren't super, like, high-end realistic graphics and stuff. Like, I think it's easy to watch Call of the Wild because it looks good. A lot of VR games are really, it's a user experience, not really like a viewing audience experience. The whole thing with VR is the way that it makes you feel like you're in that space, but when you're disconnected from that and watching on a 2D screen, it just doesn't really work the same way. So I don't know that it's something that I could really make engaging content on. That said, if I ever get a VR setup, I'll definitely do at least a video on it so people can see it. Are Meese the same as Moosin? Depends on the day. Was that high enough? Yes. Add a Traeger to your wedding registry? There you go. Do you enjoy racing sims? If so, that's definitely a decent viewing experience. I've never, like, I played some racing games growing up and stuff. It's not something that I'd put a lot of time into. I've watched some, and it, like you said, it is actually enjoyable to watch. That's the thing, definitely, Brian. If you've got, like, the personality for it, then it's definitely a good deal. But I think my approach to content probably doesn't suit, like, VR stuff. I generally go with, like, try to be semi-informative. Maybe not always the most entertaining. I try to do entertaining stuff too. Wait. If you ever get a VR set up, you have to do a video and then have another... The heck do you mean BTS video? Isn't that like a music thing? Where Kyla films and makes fun of you while you spin around your living room. Well, I wouldn't do it in the living room because there's far too many breakable things down there. Smoker for all that wild game? It was semi a joke, but one of my moderators in my Discord sent an email to Traeger like to try to set up a sponsorship. It didn't work, but if that would have happened, that would have been so funny. Behind the scenes. Oh, I thought BTS was a music thing. I don't know. I agree with VR. The best game is Super Hot VR. I actually know that one. I think I watched Jack play it. What countries do you want to go to? I'm not a big, like, traveling person. I guess I'd probably choose hunting ones. So, like, what are good countries to go to hunting-wise? I mean, Canada, that's close. There's some good hunting in Canada. Where would be the best, like, 100% wild red deer? Would it be, like, Scotland? Because I know basically everything in New Zealand is privately owned. It's not quite, like, high fence or game ranch type of thing, but I'd prefer to hunt 100% wild if possible. I don't think New Zealand has what I'm specifically looking for. What do you think I'm going to suggest? I don't know. I think it starts and ends with an A, though. Ironically, several countries do. What was that? Oh, it's a deer. I thought it was a big moose paddle. Oh, yeah, good. The actual bull in there is a monster. Huge. Sweden has a lot of open range, unmanaged herds. So what? I know, probably roe deer, definitely moose, boar. I know because TK lives there, but you can't bow hunt there. He doesn't do much actual hunting in Sweden. Are you going to make any videos on where did that go? I missed something there. New Zealand has public ground? Maybe I misunderstood the way that it exactly works. Boy, I wish I would have heard that this morning. I did turkey hunt this morning. There's only one day in the season left after today. Still have not got a turkey. Brian, thanks so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the support. After Australia, what is a place that we haven't hunted before in the game that you want? Let's see. Let's do the coast here, too. We haven't? I still think Greenland would be a good idea. I'm gonna stick with that as, like, my guess for every map, because Beard more or less confirmed we're not getting Africa till the game's dying, or at least that's what he said. It was something like that, till the game's old. Something like that. I think muskox, caribou, Arctic fox, maybe a species of like ptarmigan or something. You could do snowshoe hare. That'd be 4 new ones, plus please revamp caribou. Just do Great One caribou while you're at it. Although that's not a base game species. Can maybe do Arctic wolves. Getting close to like a full mass worth of species. Mongolia, they've actually got a lot of wildlife. I think that'd be a good one. Shoot the birds on the far sky. I can try to shoot the next bird. You, in fact, can shoot them. Maybe this guy's going a little slower. They just twirl to the ground and disappear. Jaxy said we are doing Africa 2.0 because it can't be followed. So effectively, maybe their last map? Because then they don't need to follow it. I hope there isn't a last map for a long time. Could say Greenland or Northwest Territories in Canada for that? Are there muskox in... I don't know why I've specifically gone with Greenland. Actually, I do know why. It's because when you look at the map, one big glaring flaw right there. What about an Amazon map? I guess your big game species would be like what? Jaguar? Are there gators? No, it'd be caiman or whatever. Are those hunted? Like, I've never heard of that being hunted. I guess so. How many more maps do you think we'll get? I guess it depends on how long they plan to continue, like, developing the game and trying to push content out. If we look at... Now here, the thing with making a comparison to Classic is that Expansive Worlds didn't develop Classic from the beginning. They actually purchased it. But in 2017, when Call of the Wild came out, Classic at that stage would have been almost 8 years old. Call of the Wild is now 7 years old, correct? 6 years old. So, if they were to go with that exact same deal, what, we'd be looking at 4 more? Or 5? Sadly, everything's hunted? I guess on some level. EW didn't develop Classic? Maybe that's why it's so good. No, they rescued it from the grave, actually. A company called Emote, I believe, developed Classic from the beginning, and it was more or less being run into the ground. EW absolutely saved that one. It would have disappeared long ago. What do you think about the Australia map? I'm excited. I like the species list. I do think water buffalo are a miss. We were talking earlier, maybe dingoes would have been a cool addition, but a bunch of deer species, got a new waterfowl species. Croc seems like a really cool idea. Who knows what kangaroos are going to be, but it sounds like they're going to be a lot of fun. Seems like a perfect community-suggested map. New hunter here, is it beneficial to play online instead of solo offline? The biggest thing that well, there's 2 things it could do. What I would do in your situation if you're new to the game is actually host multiplayer if you want to play, because what's going to happen is you're going to get people to join your game, and every time they discover a zone, so whether they click on a zone track, spot an animal in a zone, that zone will pop up on your map, and it'll kind of help you to see where some of the locations are to go and revisit. Now, keep in mind, if you've got diamonds or rares or cool stuff on your map, there's a chance someone's going to end up shooting those too, so if you don't want that to happen, I'd stick to single player. You could join others' multiplayer maps, but that can be a benefit early on to hosting your own map, is having others help you in the zone discovery process. It could also happen, if those who join want to just shoot everything they see, they can delete zones, because if you shoot more than 4 animals in one spot, 4 or more I should say, not more than 4, that will delete the zone, or any zone encompassed by that hunting pressure of 4. How do you feel about whales or seals in Call of the Wild? I mean, you said Greenland, so beluga, orcas, seals, narwhals. I think none of them really fit what EW is trying to do. Love to see a Southeastern Asia map like India or Bangladesh. I ask this every time it comes up. Where are Marco Polo sheep? Give me that. I know it's Asia somewhere. Rejected soup. What do you think about 20 or 24 tents per map / reserve? So, for certain maps, it definitely feels like that would be a big help. I do think, like it or not, Call of the Wild is kind of moving in a very grinding direction. So by adding more tents, that probably only makes those grinds more effective. And if EW wants to do that, then I'd say they should make that possible. If they want to maybe try to limit how far the grinds go, they probably got to keep it where it is. I used to be 8, so having 16 is a lot. South America rainforest could be a good map. I don't know nearly enough about the species. Is that where, like, bongos and stuff live, or is that Africa? Small male brain here. I don't know nothing. Is a piebald white-tailed deer rare? Yes. Piebald, basically anything other than ducks are rare. We hit something. I don't know what or when. This is just violent. That shouldn't be allowed. Lower neck. Of all things to hit with the 22. And brain. Okay, that was weird. Poor Meese. You know she's coming back as a piebald? Probably. We've shot a cow or two on this grind. Need doves and squirrels. What does an average dove weigh? Like, I'm trying to compare them to the size of a quail. They're a good bit smaller than a quail yet, and I don't know that adding something that small would be great, like with this engine and the way it works. If they can make it happen, I think they'd be a cool addition. Squirrels, the biggest issue is making them climb trees and stuff properly. Giving me flashbacks to 22 versus Cape Buffalo. It doesn't really happen anymore, but man, it was every, like, once a week for a while there, and eventually, like, once a month. There'd be at least one comment like, whew, I thought this was real. Like, some guy went out and just, or me, I guess, shot a real-life Cape Buffalo with a 22 until it just died of, I don't know, boredom. Does weigh about 0.5 pounds, big ones up to a pound. Would that make them bigger than quail then? Quails are a quarter of a kilo, which is, boy, half a pound? I'm trying to do the math. I might have it backwards too. Is the 22 really that weak? They kind of have to make it weak, otherwise you can abuse it and just shoot, you know, all kinds of things with it. That's one of the problems with trying to, like, balance a bunch of weapons in the game. Some are going to be weaker than they should be because otherwise they'll be used for purposes that the devs don't intend for them to be used for. Died of, I don't know, boredom, snorted so loud. I just feel like, other than headshots, it would just be like getting stung by many bees for them. Doves are bigger than quail, so I've done some dove hunting. And I feel like I've seen my fair share of quail. Not like wild quail, to be fair, like images and stuff. I always thought quail were like the size of a grouse. What's that oinking noise? That's just me, I'm eating. I honestly have no idea. I don't hear anything. Balanced weapons, the 7mm is in question. Well, I'll give you that, but I will also say that that was a base game weapon. At the time it was added, they only had to balance, what, 10 guns? Now there's, I would say, upwards of 30, if not more, maybe 40. Some things are going to just naturally end up probably where they shouldn't be. That's a good idea. A Texas map dominated by hogs and add a wild hog great one. The only thing is, I don't think people would like hunting it as much. Just as far as I can tell, the community in general isn't, no pun intended, wild about feral hogs and wild hogs on Mississippi. Which one's wild hogs? Feral pig is Tay? I always get them backwards. I am with you, the Blue Rocket. We need a 375 or a 416 rifle for classes 8 and 9. It seems like a missed opportunity to not do class 8 and 9 rifles. I mean, that covers moose, elk, gensbuck, obviously all the class 9 animals. But there's a good chunk of class 8 stuff. I think it would be a neat little spot to fit. How long do you think it'll be until EW releases Australia? My guess is probably in the area of 3 weeks. I'm only basing that off of past releases. Generally speaking, it's like June 20th or thereabouts. Got the quad bike. How close can you get before scaring animals? They'll spook at render, so about 400 meters. It's not going to help you get close to anything. It's going to help you travel across the map quickly. So if you want to unlock outposts and lookout towers, if you want to, I don't know, I guess drive to an area of the map you haven't unlocked to go and hunt there, I wouldn't use it for any actual hunting. Just travel. I like hubbabaloo. That's a good word. I couldn't even say it. Is Jaxy going to be on Emerald Coast in the EW stream tomorrow? That we do not know, but we were talking about it earlier. I feel like it's kind of only up from here. They showed us the Great One Fallow. You'd think that's going to be the direction they go, but who knows? Sick and tired of people kicking me in multiplayer all the time. I'm going to assume you're not, like, shooting 10 animals in one spot and causing excessive hunting pressure. It does just happen. I've been, you know, I'll go through stretches where I get kicked out of 5, 10 servers in a row. Eventually you find one. Captain Chubbles, that is one of the best names I've seen today. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hey man, I've been watching for a while now, and you made me really get into this game. Great job on the success, and happy hunting. Well, thank you, man. And I'm glad the videos and streams have helped you get into it. Glad you're enjoying it. And thank you again for the support. How do you zero in your gun? So, you don't have to, I'm gonna say, physically zero your gun in this game. There is a zeroing skill. It's a skill, right? Not a perk? No, it is. Yeah, it's a perk. So once you've unlocked that, there's a long-range zero and a short-range zero. Did they change that too? Hold on, I might be lying to you. They changed some stuff. No, that's still the case. It's just, you can unlock it more quickly now. It used to be, had to spend more skill points. Anyway, once you've got short and long-range zero, you can zero, for most rifles, 150 meters, 75 meters, and 300 meters. You can cycle between those at will, and that will account for bullet drop at those ranges. How many hours do you have on Call of the Wild? 6,214 is the current number. How good is Wade the Hunter? Very good. They just released an update. They added melanistic Alaska moose and albino plains bison. Not plains bison, wood bison, sorry. I think that's really cool. I have not played that update much because it seems like it introduced some screen kind of jittering when you turn, which is quite annoying, but I'm looking forward to that being fixed because I can't wait to hunt for some of those rares. These are not the brightest Meese. Do you think they should have put water buffalo and not red deer? I don't know that necessarily, like, it had to be one or the other. If that was the case, I would have preferred that they would have chose water buffalo. If I think of Australia hunting, I think water buffalo is the first thing that pops into my head. That said, I don't know that I missed them necessarily. If it's going to be the case that kangaroos are going to be fairly aggressive, which Beard did say the first kangaroo he encountered just killed him, so there's that. If that is in fact the case, I can live without multiple species constantly hunting me down, but it just depends how they work. What's up, Miro? They made the albinos look better. So I want to, it's going to be a while probably, but I want to get an albino, like whitetail, and just see it in the harvest screen, because something about the harvest screen looks weird to me. The things themselves, like in the trophy lodge and walking around the hoof, they look great. It's weird in the actual harvest screen. Does zeroing work for the Zarza 10? Yeah. The 6.5 is a European 6.5 caliber, not the Creedmoor, and it would be better for game balance. I think I missed the first half of that. They should add black buck and water buffalo and just remove parquet? Are there black buck in Australia? I thought they were native to, like, India. How do you feel about species like sloth bear and Gurr on an Asian map? Are Gurr those big muscly things that look like a ox, kinda? I feel like that's just sort of tankier yet bantang, but I mean, I'd rather enjoy hunting bantang in classic, so I think I'd be for it. When I look up Wade the Hunter on PS4, it does not show up. Unfortunately, Wade the Hunter is not available on PS4. It's only available on the newer gen of consoles and PC. The Wasp was no match for my Swiffer/Hammer. I'm proud of you for cleaning while you killed your Wasp. Scottish Highlands could be a cool map to introduce small game. Based on Reventuli and, at least from my perception, his popularity, I think that would be good. Gurr is just a beefier bantang. Well, there you go. Let's see him then. I feel like this is going to be the zone that a great one would pop up. Doesn't look like it's happening now, but just considering that's where our big ones typically are. David, thank you so much for the super chat. Trying to find a diamond Gensbuck, starting to see more 4s. Is that a decent side? A diamond might be coming. Depending on what you're looking for, so they make, the female Gensbuck make diamond at level 4 pretty often. They can reach level 5, but that basically requires them to be max weight. I would say, if it's males, generally seeing a lot of higher levels is a good sign of anything. I've talked about it many times, but when we were all much newer to the game, and Jaxy had this area of Layton Lakes that he referred to as Diamond Alley. It was think where we are right now, like right in through here, he would just kill all kinds of diamond moose. And inevitably, you'd go through, you'd shoot moose after moose after moose, and you'd start to see more level 4s. The next thing you know, there's a 5 standing there. Is there a difference between Rooster and Javan Rooster, or just two names for the same animal? I have never heard of a Bear did call him that, didn't he? I do think he said that. I kind of remember him saying some word I had never heard of. And I was just kind of thought it was some random thing he knew them by. Why doesn't Mel's Gaming live stream? She really doesn't want to embarrass the rest of us by being so much better at the game than everybody else that plays. Do you know if you have to shoot every ptarmigan to get the respawns? Every ptarmigan in the flock? I don't know the answer to that. I think so. The difficult part with them is that they can kind of be in groups of varying sizes. So it's harder to, like, when it's a goose and a random solo goose flies by, and then you see that like 12 times, it starts to become clear like, oh, this is from a flock where I've killed all but one, or like 2 geese fly by, 3 geese, whatever that is. Ptarmigan don't make it as clear. I would imagine you do need them all, though. A degree in zoology? I only have a degree in big maleology. Wish you could move my Xbox Call of the Wild due to PC. I really wish they would make that possible. Hunt Cross, thanks for becoming a Shusty, by the way. I'm hoping that alert will work, but membership alerts are very hit or miss. So, whether or not it pops up, thank you so much for joining. If you're not in the Discord, be sure to join that. Link up our YouTube, get the member roll, take advantage of all that good stuff, and enjoy the emojis here in chat, as well as the green name. There it is. Good and late. But Hunt Cross, thank you again, man. I've been considering getting away the hunter, but I don't know how I'd feel about herd management. In my humble opinion, herd management in Way the Hunter, it being an intended and therefore properly balanced mechanic, is actually really enjoyable. I'd be perfectly happy if Call of the Wild, like let's say the current herd management doesn't exist, and if to get trophies in Call of the Wild, you needed to do some degree of like intended herd management, because I think when, you know, you can get 20 diamonds on your map at the same time, etc., I feel like it's relatively safe for me to say that was not intended when they developed it. The new Way the Hunter update was not that bad. It's mostly okay, but I don't know if I can demonstrate to you what I have going on here. When I turn, it kinda is really jittery. It's not as bad as I made it look, but to display it. Get that guy while the other ones aren't rendered in. What do you think they should add to Emerald Coast? If they ever did a backfill, water buffalo is an easy one. Dingoes would be a good new species to add yet. Hunt Cross, thank you for the super chat as well. I really appreciate it. Love your vids, man. You make my days so much better. Well, thank you. Glad to assist in some small way. Herd management in Way the Hunter is the actual way to play the game. I mean, yeah, that's... Again, if it's intended, then it's properly balanced, right? You quite literally cannot have a map with, like, I would say more than about 5 or 6 5-stars at any given time. Maybe it's more than that, because you're not going to discover them all. Let's say more than, like, 10. Because your average isn't going to be correct for that to happen. Respawns of animals are based on the average genetic potential in a certain area. And in order to get those 5 stars, you have to shoot them. And therefore, that lowers the average every time. How many moose kills? On Layton, about 1,600. Total, right about 3,000, actually. Animal Science Old Age and Way the Hunter, yes. Yeah, that felt pretty good, but we'll try to make sure we get another one in them. You inspired me to join the Hunter Call of the Wild, and I just got my first diamond, a diamond pronghorn. That's an awesome first one, man. That is pretty cool. So that, okay, something was stuck there. I guess it was a cow. Drop the first one, and then we have to go claim the one out there. I kind of forgot that I was going to check other areas this run. We'll do it next run. Hopefully they had Roadier and Reventuli. You know, it never really, like, occurred to me. They should definitely be there. Huh. I would like that. Not that Reventuli desperately needs more species. I mean, 19 is a high species count for Call of the Wild. I think it outdoes the next closest by, like, 4 or 5. But that would be a neat little fit. Roadier need a rework, too. We're talking about, Feral Goat and Fallow Deer haven't gotten a rework. Roadier are just not nearly as realistic as they could be. Or Roadier to Medved? You could do Siberian Roadier, right? Because that's a thing. I don't know what these comparisons are right now, but it is very interesting to read. We just need more backfilling. That update was good for hype and made almost all the maps better. Yeah, there's like only so much they can do that's still reasonable, but there's definitely some species that could be squeezed onto other maps. Reindeer on Rev, Black Grouse on Medved. Boy, would they stand out. Which weapon are we using for the moose? The 300. Comes with the Yukon Valley DLC. Which animal are you most excited to hunt? I think Crocs, because Beard said there's going to be like some new AI or a new mechanic, something to that effect. Which, it certainly intrigues me. Somebody said, I think here in this chat, basically like, I hope they're not just Gator AI, but with Crocs. And if that was going to be the case, I probably wouldn't be that excited for them, but because they're apparently supposed to be changed and hopefully better, I think they could be good. Ptarmigan on SRP? Like, rocks and willows wouldn't be right, though. It would have to be a different kind of ptarmigan? Is that correct? Best way to grind cash and Call the Wild now? I gotta also try my hardest not to tax animals. Yeah, that definitely does eat into your earned cash if you have to tax stuff all the time, or if you do like me and customize your weapons every 12 hours. I really think it's Fallow Deer on Tay, which, you know, double duty now. Get your Fallow Deer Great One grind set up and make a bunch of money in the process. Soup, I've never liked you. Bighorns need a rework. Yeah, their true Rex, or true horns, I guess they should be called, need a rework. The body models are okay. They could be better too, but with most species that need a rework, it's normally just the bodies, like how the Fallow Deer got. Which DLC would you recommend to buy first? If it were me, let me think. Either the Modern Rifles pack. That's actually a good option. I go Modern Rifles pack. The only thing is, so the Modern Rifles pack does come with the 22. It's the AR-15 style 22. The only thing is, that one can't do the same thing as the 22 Virant. There's a thing known as the 22 Strat. The 22 Virant, by the way, comes in Weapon Pack 1 DLC. So I will display to you what the 22 Strat is, and you can consider if you'd like to use it. So let's say you don't want to take a frontal shot on this moose. You don't like the angle. You can just simply take your 22, shoot near it, and it's going to go alert. What's going to happen when it's alert is it's going to kind of stand around. Eventually it's going to turn to one side or the other. It's going to offer you some other shot angles. This is more applicable when it's facing directly away from you. You can see, you had time there to get a broadside shot in. The AR-22, it's too loud. It just spooks them. Whereas the Virant, you can do that. Definitely one thing to consider. 22 Strat sounds like a guitar. You sound like a guitar. What is the worst DLC in your opinion? Probably New England. I hate to say that. Never that I can recall has the newest map DLC ever been something that I'm like, this one's not good. Up until New England. Alright, so this next round we're going to check through some spots that I haven't been grinding. I don't check that often, but should be checked. We'll try to do it quick. That's true, Soup. The Viren has a 10-round capacity. The AR-15, I can't remember the name of it. That Style 22 has a 5-round capacity. The AR-22 is capable of doing the 22 strat. They changed it a little while back. I can get it and show you that it's still not. That was... People thought that it worked that way, but it at least at certain range it does not. Let me get it. Let's take the shadow, because Doge name. We'll get that. What the heck? I guess I took it to Barunga or something. Okay. I should bring both so I could display it, but that'll be alright. So, let's go this way first. It's gonna be a little bit of a run. We may even take a 4-wheeler to get down to there, just to speed it up. I hate using a 4-wheeler on stream because it feels so loud, but we might zippity-doo-dah our way over there. Wait, is that for real, Little? I don't know if you're being for realsies right now. Should I buy a current map DLC or wait for Australia? I'm new, so I don't have any maps. I would wait. You can play any map even if you don't own it in multiplayer. So I would just check out other maps right now, like that. Yeet! I always seem to hit the animal when doing the 22 strat. I've come pretty close to hitting some, like, good stuff with the 22 strat. I've never actually done it to anything I was, like, really excited about, I guess. Nice traction, just like a real 4-wheeler. Beautiful. Buy Ribbon to the Coast. I do recommend Ribbon to the. It's a very good map. Can we rally to get more loadout spots? Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Somebody did ask Jaxy. Come on. Somebody did ask. The latest stream, we are not getting any more added, which seems surprising to me. I could have ran faster. Some of us would have taken a less direct route, not me. Straight lines always. I want to scope for the 470. I don't think it... Like, the 470 is honestly, like, not that overpowered. I don't think adding a scope is really game-breaking. If I had to guess... The reason currently, the 470 doesn't have a scope, is that they were concerned adding a class 9 weapon and giving it a scope would make it overpowered. I don't think it's more powerful than the 300 by much, if any. What are these tracks? Rabbits? That's good to know. Oh, nice. Next time we do, it's gonna be a while because that whitetail scarred me, but next time we do a Layton trophy cabin hunt on Layton, may give this spot a visit for bunnies. How to get the ATV? It's the first DLC ever released, I think. At least first paid DLC. It was ATVs and tents, weirdly enough. And maybe ground blinds? How did that work? Does anybody remember? It was something like that. This was many moons ago. If you own Call of the Wild on console, you'll just have ATVs that came with, like, the base game. Hey, a bridge. Right into a tree just like a real ATV. It's like I'm playing Red Dead. That's close enough. Gets us close enough that we're going to spook things, so we might as well just cut off everything that's in render. There's a moose stone there. Go that way. We may not shoot, like, literally anything for the next, I don't know, 10 minutes. We'll see. Depends on what's down here. Still wish for the ability to stabilize rifles on stones, branched, or in a tripod? Oh, branches? So, okay. Don't know how that happened. Do, like, the stands and tripods not give you some stability increase? I thought they did. I know in Classic they do. There's a great one down there? Dude, so like the red deer. this is what happened. The red deer great one spawned in a place that I wasn't grinding, so we have to check it. I've been through here a few times, but it's been, I would bet, a month and a half. How long have we been on Layton, though? Oop. So somewhere down here as well, I had a max wood estimate moose, obviously not a great one moose estimate, but it makes me wonder, you know, could there be a diamond down here waiting on us? Good old Call of the Wild glitchiness. I do enjoy being literally yeeted 50 meters for no good reason. Russell, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Really appreciate it. Have learned loads from you. Thanks. My pleasure, man. Always literally priority number one as far as my Call of the Wild classic Weight Thunder content goes is to help kind of get the information out there. If I look up Layton Moose Grind, will that tell me when I started this? Layton Moose Grind. Yeah, it's over 2 months. So a month and a half ago could have very well be the last time I did this. ATVs are perfect. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah. Their traction is just like real life. When I use an ATV, I fear for my life every single turn. Imagine that was a great one, Bear Check. What are you doing over there? How'd you get down there? Okay, he can't run where we won't see him. He has to go left or right. Alright, so you may be wondering, Flinter, why didn't you shoot that? Hey, that's a good one. Might shoot that. My reason is, I don't want to grind over here. I don't want respawns over here. So by not shooting it, I don't get a respawn. However, that 4 was pretty nice. I gotta take a better look at that. Pack mule disturb veg. If you own many or maybe even any of the newer weapon DLCs, go disturb veg. Things like the, I swear, there he is. Hold up. Felt good. I think we got him. Didn't get to see if he started the drop. That felt like that should have been a vital hit. Anyway, things like the new 7mm, new 308s, the ARs, even going back to the 303 British from Te Awaroa. Is that where it started? I think there's one more DLC prior to that. The M1. All those weapons are so light, you don't need pack mule to carry everything you need. Flipped my dirt bike this weekend. That does not sound healthy. Hopefully you're doing alright. This 1-4 is going to turn into the great one? I mean, you know. I will happily take a great one on my map, even if it has to sit here for like 2 months until I find it. If he's here, I'm cool with it. Every now and then, like, so this is the thing. Whether you do herd management or don't, at this stage, if you're in the Call of the Wild community for more than a couple months, you know it exists, and you probably have some idea of how it works. Knowing that there is obviously a balancing act done by the game in order to spawn trophies, when we go long stretches of time without getting any diamonds, even very big ones, like we haven't killed even a troll, I'd say in 600 kills-ish. Just makes me think. Is there a great one on the map already? Is that preventing more diamonds from spawning? I don't know. So I go and check places like this. How do you get third-person view on the quad? On keyboard it's C, I think. On console, I want to say is only third-person. If you guys hear random sounds, by the way, Shadow's got a cone on still from being spayed, and she walks into stuff all the time, the poor thing. Snakehead, thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Like New England, what areas do you think would be a good backfill map? Mine would be a British Columbia or Alaska. Oh, I understand the question. So what map could be an amalgamation of a bunch of already existing species in the game? Let's throw Texas Exotic Ranch out of the list of possibilities. I also want to pick things that would be relatively new. Or relatively, you know, not red deer and whitetail that are on a bunch of maps, basically. I think the Alaska coast one is good. What else? Without seeing a list of species, it's tough. You can do a lot with all the different, like, upland birds, waterfowl, and stuff in the game. Let me look here. What about, like, French Alps? What about Valdebas from Classic is basically what I'm saying. It's the wrong kind of ibex. I know red deer on a million maps. I said I wasn't going to choose that. But, roe deer. We don't have that many roe deer maps. Is it only 2? Maybe 3? Brown bear. That would only be the 3rd brown bear map. Red fox are getting on quite a few. Let me think. What else is on there? European rabbits. They're on a few now. Capercaillie, that would only be the 3rd. That's an okay fit, I guess, for the question. Shoutouts to Wear a Cone. A friend of mine, her dog is in one too, I think for fleas or something. Another friend got his dog attacked by something in his backyard. Oh god. That is never good. Whoa. It's another nice moose. So where's that zone exactly? That's on the... Wait. Oh no, it's not. I was gonna say. Thought it was the coast that we've been running. So we're gonna check over there too. Definitely want to shoot that. I guess we'll try to get them both. You should fill Shadow's Cone with peanut butter. She fills it with... I just mowed the grass the other day, so there's freshly mowed grass all over the place. She fills it with grass and dirt and just whatever she walks through. It's great. 3 roe deer maps? Quattro, Hirsch. Where else are there roe deer? I'm sure it's going to be like, oh, duh, whenever you tell me, but... You never used the AR, the 22 strat? I probably did have a chance by now, actually. Well, if we can find a thing, we'll attempt to do that. Where can... I guess we gotta cross here? I guess that'll work. Male pig. Only 2 roe deer maps. Y'all's is confusing me now. Hunt Cross, thank you again for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Why do we only have 1 map with blacktail? It's a good question. If I had to guess, because blacktail are only in like a, at least comparatively small area when compared to mule deer and whitetail in the US, or even in North America, I'm guessing it's just because there's not that many places to put them, but there could be more places to put them than how it currently is. Okay, so we'll first do this attempted 22 strat at like 300 meters. This, by the way, will not spook the moose. Especially if I don't hit in the right area. Oh, no. Alright, I guess I hit it. We'll try this again with another one then. Whoops. Casey had like a 1,000 kill streak with no diamonds with the moose. I had a 1,000 kill streak with a red deer. It does just happen. Bad luck can certainly strike at any moment, but I still can't help but wonder if it's, you know, being influenced by other big males in the map. Any work on the bears recently? Nothing in the last, like, I don't know, probably month. Alright. So I believe if I just shoot this into the air, that moose is going to spook. Ah, she didn't. Might be under 100 meters. Use the 22 AR for the 22 trick? I'm certain they, like... Something happened and everybody said, oh, they changed it, now it works. And then it didn't actually work. At least in certain scenarios. Now you're going to do your weird thing. Like, if I shot the ground now, it would definitely spook her, because we're too close. I hate how my frames drop whenever I look at long grass and Virunga. Is that console? I know some people have had that happen on console. How long are you going to take to go all the way to calm? I may be incorrect about this. I'd be curious to know when they changed it, though. Whenever you're ready. Console Series S. I've been told that Virunga's long grass is quite the frame killer on console. Alright, you know what? Oh, well, she's going alert now. We'll try it on another one. How's it not see you? I guess it did eventually. Parquet is a slideshow? Is it really? There's certain maps that I notice my frames drop with more. Reventuli was always a little bit tougher on frames. For Hunk is usually not that bad. I want to say New England, but it had that weird, like, blurry graphics thing for a while. Just shot a troll moose on multiplier by 0.7. When they're that close, that's always just big sad. What do you think of a super rare aggressive kangaroo on the final mission on Emerald Coast? What about like a unique fur? It can be a diamond, but like in the category of Phantasma Wolf from Quattro. That way it's not like a free super rare to call it that, but it's still like something special to put in the lodge. Depends on how fast they are when they're aggressive. Like, what if you gotta blast them with buckshot? The infamous gap in the bino screen. I'm so glad that's gone. Have like Ghost Root from Classic. That was exactly what was in my head. That or the 2015 Halloween event kangaroo. Jaxy keeps saying this is a map, not a reserve. I think we may need to unlock areas like Way the Hunter. So, I doubt it. He said that it was going to go through, like, the mission system and be explained. It must be relevant in some way, but I slowly am starting to wonder if it's more of just like a terminology thing. The murder bunnies, there you go. What would you think of a Vietnam map? I don't know if I could name a single game species in Vietnam. So if you can help me with that, I can give you a proper answer. Lost a diamond albino jackal and multiplayer to someone shooting it before and regenning or something. I saw that. I don't remember if you posted it in my Discord or the official Discord. So that is what happens. If somebody in multiplayer shoots something and then leaves, even if the animal should have died, I think, but definitely if the animal's not going to die, once they leave, everybody else will see it as 100%. So I actually had the same thing happen with the max weight Diamond Rocky Mountain elk. And I didn't even know it. Like, I shot it, I'm like, legit, I'm celebrating, you know, this is my biggest diamond elk ever, and then I look and it's a gold, and I'm like, what happened? Someone had shot it, and that's just what it does. It tells you it's max health even though it's not. It's really unfortunate that it worked out that way. How did, I didn't get to see, did they shoot it once, and then you shot it twice, or did they shoot it twice and then you shot it? I don't understand hacking in this game, why would you? I don't know, but I assume it's just kind of like a, you know, a bragging type of thing, like, hey, look at this. Or, if you're not posting them in the community, maybe you just don't enjoy the game normally and want to do that, but for those that hack and post it in the community and pretend it's legit, I can only assume that's like a ego-driven deal. They missed twice? Okay. I was just curious, because not to, you know, pour salt in the wound or anything,
like
but
pudding.
Thank you. Don't know how we have Twitch alerts coming through here again. But had you shot it twice, and they had only shot it once, that would have been definitely bigger sad. When do you think Emerald Coast will come out? Like 1-2 weeks? I think it's going to be like more 2 to 3 week range, but we'll see. Marco Polo sheep live in the mountainous regions of Central Asia. I know I asked that question like an hour ago, and I'm sure it was answered many times that I missed it, but thank you. For video titles like that, I guess that too, if that's something anyone does. Watching from 20k feet up. How's the connection up there? Got my first diamond lion Saturday. Nice, man. Good size one. Okay, whitetail zone, moose zone, and then that's We should check all the way up, but that's basically everything I wanted to look at down here. We killed a couple of big ones. You know, there were some nice-sized moose sitting down here. Your PC is squealing? I'm surprised mine's not. My old PC would be jet engineing right now. It is hot in here. Do you still herd your whitetail? I probably haven't done that in like 5 years. It never was very successful either. I don't think I ever killed a diamond. 50 score, max score? I had one last weekend too. It was max weight, not max score. Relatively new, is there any reason why more big games such as giraffes, leopards, elephants, etc. aren't in the African reserve, which really make it a bigger draw to new players? I would say it would definitely make it a bigger draw. I'd say you're right there. I think it was like it was only their second DLC map, and they didn't want to maybe swim into unknown waters with, are people going to be upset about this? Because there's controversy on it. It's ill-informed controversy. Like, people that understand how the hunting for those particular species works, they would never for any reason be against it because it's a conservation plus. But there's a lot of misinformation out there on it, and I think it maybe deterred them. Holy Danny, what's going on? Made an effort to say hi. Hey. Getting any more Classic or Whale Hunter this week? I think I'm going to do Classic on Wednesday. Whale Hunter, we'll see. I may give it a try again despite the jittering screen. It's really frustrating when it's really...
Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Not great. Thanks, Marshawn. We're killing it out here with the Twitch alerts. Ashton, thank you for the 25 months, by the way. Oh, look, 25 months on the YouTubes. That do be over 2 years. Double 12. Would you recommend Whale Hunter? If you're looking for a little bit of a more realistic hunting experience in your hunting game, if you're up for a little bit more of a challenge, then absolutely. I think we are pretty well through here. Someday when I get the time, and I don't know when that day will come, I should run through Balmont again. Make sure we're not sitting on a bunch of big meese up there or any great ones up in that area. But other than this little chunk, I think that's about the only place moose spawn that we don't consistently go. Alright, well, there's a little bit of time left for this drink time still. What's happening with Whale Hunter right now? Frustrating bug? Yeah, the most recent update that added the albino bison and melanistic Alaskan moose, when you turn, at least turn kind of quickly, it jitters. I can't really imitate it well, but it's annoying. It's not even like game breaking, it's just frustrating, and I assume not pleasant to watch. The Meese is my new favorite mythological beast. You like that? I showed the thumbnail to Mel before I started the stream and asked her if this was a dumb idea, and her response was that this mythological flying Meese is approximately as rare as a great one anyway, and I think she's got a point. Almost shot an albino on Friday. What species? Which fallow deer, fur type, or rack are you most excited for on the new update? Painted fur. All of the antlers look great. If I had to choose one, I don't know that the painted fur and spoon rack combo is my favorite. I'd probably, with the spoon racks, prefer either silver or hooded, like one of the more silvery gray ones, because my whole thing with that is it looks like a super old fallow buck. But paint is my favorite fur type, so if I got a painted one with any of the racks, I'd be thrilled. Specifically, I guess any but the spoon rack, but if it were that, I'd still be beyond stoked. Why are the Meese wings on its butt? Because its antlers would have covered them too much. Actually, no, I lied. So, think about it, right? This is a moose now. So its antlers are like plain wings, and its wings are like propellers. So it glides with the antlers, and then this is where it gets its thrust. That's why. You gotta, if the flying moose isn't anatomically correct, it's just gonna crash. Nobody here. Well, I'm glad we didn't do a normal run because that's a little bit lame. Guess we'll go. Where has been? Should check here again. Don't know why that alert didn't come through, but Luke, thank you for the 17 months. Welcome back. So glad we're getting new species. The red-and upland birds are driving me crazy. I feel it. Oh, insane is what you wrote. I don't know why I just assumed that said crazy, but I'm down to just widgeon, which I'll get on for Hunga multiplayer eventually. I'm basically eliminating that from the Reventuli single-player challenge. I just need the 2 geese. I've shot so many. They hate me. There's a great one, Moose. Where? What is your least favorite map? Probably New England, which, again, it saddens me to say that the newest map in the game is my least favorite. Nobody knows how they fly. That's part of the reason they're so mystical. It's kind of like how the spawning mechanics exactly work. It's better off unknown. Been grinding lions for the breadwinner mount. I have 4 diamonds and 2 albino males, but females are being rude. Yeah, when I've done lion grinds, and it has never been something I've stuck to a lot, I've had a few rare males. I've never had a rare female from my own map. Both the blonde and dark brown female lions that we have came from multiplayer. Would you like a new Africa map instead of New England, or Verhunga is enough? I would definitely like a... Ooh. If I didn't have Meese to check on, I would definitely like a new Africa map over New England. I guess we better stay on the task at hand. I had a max weight coyote track at some stage. I didn't think it was up here, though, so I think there's another one. I don't know what that last shot might have hit. At least one of these is getting away. I don't really know what we got and what we didn't. Seeing Meese in my sleep, I feel it. I had a dream. You know what it was? It was gray-lag geese. So you know I shot that troll level 5. It was off by 0.01. I have since shot a level 4 that weighed the same. It was also 3.84 kilo, but I think it was like 0.04 away from diamond or something. I had a dream that I shot one that was big enough and it was still a gold. I can't remember the exact quote anymore from the stream, but it was something to the effect of like, how's that even possible? I was just beyond frustrated. Always, David. It's always something in the games, whether it's great ones or always being haunted by something. I don't know what's actually going to die here, if anything. What are your ambusher skills? I can throw them on the screen here quick if you want to take a screenshot. Call of the Wild dreams hit hard sometimes. I've had some good ones. I remember, so when I was hunting Yukon a lot, specifically not long after albino grizzly bears were finally not even put into the game, just fixed. They weren't spawning correctly for a while. I had this dream where I was like down in the southern part of the map, hunting along, and then suddenly I spot a resting albino grizzly leg. You know, big hype, no way, and there's another one sitting beside it. Then there's an albino fox. And I think there's one more albino fox or another albino something, and as per usual, just, you know, content creator mindset, my brain's like, everyone's gonna think I'm cheating! Who cares about all the cool things? Never cease to amaze me the stories you tell in these streams. I feel like your therapist. You guys are all my therapists. This is why I don't have to go to therapy. I literally just word vomit for 2 hours and see what happens. Someone needs a vacation? I've actually had more vacations from Call of the Wild since I moved to this house, so all is well. Is it worth getting Parque Fernando just for the water bufflers? I like that you spelled it that way. I'm a fan. Let me... Not there. Fast travel here. I like one of them because they go aggressive, considering Emerald Coast will have... they won't have water buffalo on Emerald Coast. Only Bantang. At least for now. Maybe it'll be backfilled. So if you really want to hunt them, then yes, I'd get Parque. Or just play it in multiplayer. Where's my payment then? It's over there. Just gotta go and pick it up. If we were doing a coyote grind, we'd be doing great. Great one, you might even say. No Meese. No Mas? No, I said no Meese. How do you record videos? Suppose it depends what you're asking me. Like, you're asking what I use to record? Me with my 3 mellow Great One Whitetail Dream that I lassoed and knifed Red Dead style while screaming no one's gonna believe me. I love the Red Dead and Call of the Wild crossover, it's great. It's funny that that's what your brain does though, like, and by, when I'm saying what your brain does, I mean any of our brains that have these Call of the Wild dreams. Because it's never like, oh, the thing that I wanted. It's 12 of them, and they're melanistic, and they're max score. It just doesn't end. What is going on over there? That's new. That or they're just moving to their zones? I don't know what they were doing there. Still waiting for a Great One doe. Outside of like Gensbuck and stuff where female species routinely make diamond, what would be a good female Great One? Would have to be a rare of some sort. Wait, antler doe? How is this not a thing in the game? EW, hire me. I have an idea. I always have the Call of the Wild dreams when I play when I'm sick. I think there's something, because that sleep when you're sick is usually a little bit like, it's a deeper sleep. Something happens there. I feel like I have the same thing happen. Antlered whitetail does? They can do some wild stuff too, like they'll remain in velvet, like into the winter basically. I don't know, I believe I've seen some that don't shed, so they kind of just grow this excess antler in random places. It's a missed opportunity for sure. Speaking of missed opportunity, where did this moose go? I do believe we killed both. Sir 12's on it, he knows. That's not encouraging. Alright, never mind, I don't know what happened. Nobody saw that. It's called a fever dream? Quite literally. If EW hired you, this game would have been 12 times better by now. Imagine if I was the community manager. I don't think I'd be good in that role. You fever dream when you're sick? I mean, if you quite literally have a fever, right? Oh. Dreams occur when you're not that deeply asleep. Your brain is more active, thus more thoughts. Alright, so I'm still gonna find a reason to make this to do with sickness. So you're sick, therefore you can't sleep well. Maybe you're like coughing and stuff in your sleep, and that's why. Antler doe? You mean a duck? Wait, I don't get the duck. So I get the Elliot thing. Is the duck part also an open season reference? I got one of my friends to play Call of the Wild, and I never realized how hard the grind is for a base level player. Yeah, I think when you get started, you just don't, you know, everything's so new. So you're not worried about like, man, I gotta level up and get that 7 mil. It's just like, dude, I gotta kill that deer over there. And I got this 243, I gotta get over there closer. Like, your thoughts aren't on things that are way down the line. But then, especially when you restart or when you're helping a newer player out, you realize how much good stuff is waiting for you further in, and you just gotta keep grinding. That sounds really healthy, Mel. Definitely is good. I saw many more open season and cocaine bears start the same. I can believe it. Just think of how I feel, Soup. When approaching a drink zone, when should you stop running? Typically about 160, 170 meters from the zone. The reason I say that, earlier someone was asking like how close to an animal can you get while running? And my answer is about 150 meters, but if it's a blind zone, if you can't see where the animals are, I would stop running sooner because they don't always drink in the exact same spot. You know, this time they might be 20 meters closer to you than where they typically are, or might be 20 meters farther. But until you can see where they are and know, you don't want to run too close and spook them. Isn't there... I guess we deleted it. I'm pretty sure there's a zone up here somewhere. Just got my first time in Widgeon. Very nice. What map you get it on? Kind of random, but my Uno card are your colors? Oh, they are. That's cool. I like it. I am honored. That really works, like, if you look at it closely. I don't know if you made it, but if you did, well done. Where shall we go next? It seems like this happens too. If we do something like we just did here on the last run and check other spots, it does seem to slow down our respawns. Wife got me a Killer Instinct Boss 405 crossbow for our anniversary since I have back spasms and can't hold a bow at draw for long. I definitely get you there. Right when my brother and I got into archery. Speaking of that, I don't think I've told my brother archery story recently. Anyway. I think I was 13, my brother would have been 12. And my dad didn't want to buy us compound bows because, you know, you buy a youth-size bow and 2-3 years later you gotta buy a new bow because you've grown out of that one or whatever. So we bought a crossbow. That way, you know, we'd be able to stick with the same bow for several years. Long story short, one summer later, I bought a used bow at a yard sale because I wanted to be able to practice in the summer and all that. I wanted to do the whole thing, and with the crossbow, while I could have practiced with it, Dad didn't want to shoot in the crossbow and he wasn't home. Because, if you're unfamiliar, a crossbow can definitely take your fingers or your hand off or anything if you have it in the wrong place. So, when we got compound bows, my dad got his old compound out and started practicing with us as well, try to, you know, give us pointers, everything. He had, I think, a torn rotator cuff, something like that, and within a year or two he had to go to exclusively hunting with a crossbow because he couldn't. So, I look at it, as far as crossbows go, as a great opportunity for more people to get out into the woods at an awesome time of year. So I'm glad you'll be able to hunt. I shoot a 55-pound recurve. Anyone else who's tried drawing it can't hold it at full draw for even a second. I don't know what the weight was on the one that my sister and her fiance got for me for my birthday. I think it's 55 or 60. I can't hold it at full draw for maybe 1 or 2 seconds. You don't typically with recurves, though. You kind of like, you aim as you're reaching full draw, more or less, and then pretty quickly you shoot. Suggestions on bolts and broadheads. Boy, I wish I knew. So, we initially had a, what is the name of that? Barnett? It was like a Wildcat C5 or something. It was an older crossbow. I don't even know what bolts we used. I know for sure we used Rage 2-blade broadheads. They did okay. My dad now has, it's 10 points Wicked Ridge, maybe? 10 points, like, more cheaper brand, affordable brand, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know the exact model. But he has, I think they're Beeman bolts. And I want to say he's now using the Rage 2-blade crossbow bolts. When we started crossbow hunting, they didn't make, sorry, crossbow heads. When we started crossbow hunting, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, they didn't make crossbow expandable broadheads. Now they do. My dad has shot with that crossbow now 4 deer, $2. I have never trailed a deer like the one we trailed last year for him. And he's so, like, he makes a point of, like, withholding information from us. So we get home from the hunt, like, you know, everybody gets home, take all your camo off, take your boots off, unlace them, the whole deal, right? We spend, like, 20 minutes doing that, and then my dad goes, yeah, I shot one. Oh, okay, I guess we gotta track that then? So we talk about the whole thing, like, hey, I don't think I hit it in the lungs, I think I hit it a little bit back, yada yada. 10 minutes later I go, hey, did you shoot a buck or a doe? Oh, a buck. Like, why didn't you tell me that? He just, like, he wants you to ask that question. I don't know why. Anyway, he did shoot in the lungs. And in the dark with a flashlight, I could have ran along that blood trail. It was everywhere. Next question, expandable versus fixed. With a crossbow, expandable is, I think, fine. The reason I don't shoot expandables anymore with a compound is I just tend to tuck my shots too close to the shoulder. It's from growing up rifle hunting primarily. Like, I'm going to shoot this moose with a 22 just so everyone's clear about what's going to happen. I am aiming with a bow right there, right in the crease. And if I'm off by a little bit too far left, I'm hitting shoulder blade, shoulder, I'm not getting enough penetration with an expandable. With a fixed head, it'll punch right through that shoulder blade without much of a problem. Crossbows have so much energy, that bolt's going through the blade, not the actual shoulder bone. Don't shoot that. That ain't gonna work no matter what you do. I'm sure you know that, but from what I've seen, the crossbow specific expandables, like, make sure you get, if you're gonna get the Rage ones, make sure you get Rage 2-blade crossbow. Dad has never had an issue with, like, them not opening or opening mid-flight and planing. They've done very well. Heavy fixed blades are the way to go. With my compound, that's what I do. It's all about shot placement and stuff. Like, for some expandables, to get that maybe, you know, that field point-like flight path, more accuracy is going to be a big deal. For me, I'm living on the edge, shooting right up tight against that shoulder. I got to have the ability to punch through it if I hit it. When is your next IRL hunting video? Maybe, it could be this Friday, I don't think. I think it's going to be next Friday. I got to see what's going on with TK, though. He has, I think, a Finland hunt coming at some stage. And we don't release our videos at the same time, so if that's coming, say, next weekend, mine might be the weekend after. Shoulder blades are just biological shields. Shadow's chewing a duck, by the way, if you're curious what that sound is. And scratching her cone against the wall. Only way I'm going to use a crossbow is if I physically can't pull a bow back. I really enjoy compound bow hunting. Yeah, I'm the same way. It has nothing to do with, like, it being more difficult, requiring more skill. It's none of that stuff. It's that it requires me to get out and practice. And I guess it's the payoff at the end. Like, you practice all summer long. Like, I shot my first bow buck on film. I had killed a bow buck when I was 18 or something, but I wasn't filming then. So this past year in West Virginia, I got one on film that I shot with a bow. And I mean, you see it in my reaction, like, it all just comes out, like, after 4 years of self-filming with a bow every year, finally shot a buck with it. And it's just the whole thing. All that hard work and stuff has paid off. But the biggest thing for me is the time of year. I love to be out October, November. It's the greatest time of year to be in the outdoors. So if it's a back injury, arm injury, whatever happens, I'll get a crossbow, I'll be out there, no problem. No luck yet, no luck indeed. I forgot I was going to tell you my brother's thing too. So, like a week ago, my brother got a new, like, a thumb button release. You guys know what I'm talking about? And I guess it maybe has, like, settings for the different draw weights or something, and he didn't do those. So he drew his bow back. No arrow or anything. And the release just let go. He doesn't think he hit the button. So he dry fired it. The string, literally, it, like, sheared off pieces of metal on the cams, completely tore loose from the cams, and slapped his arm. He's got a bruise, like, I've never seen. It is pretty gnarly. So, don't try fire a bow, ever. How many diamonds do you have? I think like 1,001 or something. Oh, Ducker. Yeah, that's the word. 1,003? What else did we get? The lynx was 1,000. There's a whitetail. Honestly, I don't know what else we've shot. It's not been a moose. Oh, there was the brown hybrid Canada goose. That was 1,002 then. I'm still missing one. Oh, goldeneye. There you go. You guys know. Don't ask me. Ask everybody else that actually pays attention to what goes on, I guess. The raccoon dog was $9.99. The lynx was 1,000. I guess if we go in order, whitetail was 1,001. Goldeneye was 1,002. Canada goose was 1,003. Those 2 diamonds from the latest video, yeah, you know, the things that I should definitely be able to remember. I blew out a tendon on the back of my left knee yesterday, so I get to play Call the Wild all week. Really wish the new map was out. Hey, I respect the positive attitude of injury happened. Heck yeah, I'm gonna play Call the Wild for a week straight. Hope it's not giving you too much pain or anything, and hopefully you heal up quick. Oh, that felt way higher than I wanted it to be. Alright, I don't know what we hit and what we didn't. I think, yeah, we got the 4. This is why I don't take 300-meter shots, but they're nervous, so it was hard to say where they may end up. Finally approached 100 diamonds 6 years later. It's all about playstyle and stuff though, like... I think for a time I may have had the most diamonds out of basically anyone. I want to say, what was his name? Was it Pro Hunter on PS4? I did have more than him at one stage though, but it was pretty far in. Like we were both in the 300s or so, and I think when I passed him. So there were many others who were very much figuring out diamond hunting by then. But I bet I'm not top 100 in the world as far as like who has the most diamonds, because people who herd manage will overtake me very quickly. Are your IRL vids going on Me Hunters? Yes, you'll see the videos from my hunts on the Me Hunter channel typically 4 days or more earlier than when they come out on my channel. Like last week, in theory that video should have come out on Tuesday. Tuesday was a great one. Fallow reveal, the trailer, all this stuff happened. And then Wednesday, I think I had the raccoon dog video, so I had to push it back to Thursday. Which animal are you most excited for in Australia? The crocs, actually. I'm looking forward to them. Love your videos. I watch them with my 2-year-old daughter. That's awesome, man. That's always really cool to hear. No, it's soup. YouTube doesn't have a category for catch, cook, kill. That's just not a thing. Catch, cook, kill? What did I just say? Catch, clean, cook. My brain just completely melted. Catch, cook, kill. There's another nice moose. So where have all these big lads been hiding? And why are they coming back as 4s and not 5s? Or better yet, just give me a 10. I don't need a 5. Was that close enough to spook this lad on the other side? He heard it. Ah. Probably a lung. It is. What map would you like to see next for Way the Hunter? I think Africa would be really good. Last season I shot a buck with my crossbow, so went to go find him. The coyotes got to him. Had to leave him the night I shot him. It was an 8-point with no brow tines. So I'm gonna assume most, if not all, the meat would have been gone then. That happened one time to us. Well, yeah. My brother shot, he was maybe like 11. He shot a button buck or something. He hit a little bit too far back, so we gave it time, and the coyotes had already eaten the back leg off it. I have, on a couple different occasions though, shot deer that, like, some kind of small creature has gotten to. What? No, both are on video. I don't think I talked about the second one, though. So the first archery deer I shot in 2020, a doe, by the time I got to it, something had eaten the tail off. I mean, it didn't take an hour from shot to recovery. I don't know what it was, but something took its tail. Then, this is the same, no, 2020. Yeah, same year. Not my second deer, but my third deer. I liver shot it. It kind of, I didn't know at the time that it's actually better to shoot at a deer with its heads up. You think about it, and it's counterintuitive. Like, if they have no idea you're there, if they're just chilling feeding, you'd think they couldn't react as well, but when their head's down, they're just basically spring-loaded to take off and go. So anyway, I didn't know that. I shot with its head down. She never knew I was there, 23 yards away or something. Ducked perfectly and caught it in the liver. So we found her the next day. Like, the side of the nose was chewed off by something. How long will they continue to update Call of the Wild? I imagine so long as it's profitable, which I assume will be happening for quite some time. Coyotes are the most annoying animal a hunter can deal with in real life, just massive rats. They're amazing to watch, like, just kind of do their thing. But they can be so destructive to anything the hunter, whether it's like turkey poults or fawns. We've got some coyotes around here, and very frequently we see does with a single fawn. I can't help but wonder how many the coyotes get. Because usually anything but a very young doe has, you know, twins. Sounds good, Captain Murray. Appreciate you stopping in. We have, I think, one moose to claim. We might be able to wrangle up one more. My biggest buck, point-wise, is a 10, but I have a better tip-to-tip spread on an 8. What would you consider my biggest? I guess I mean, growing up, it was always about how many points they'd have for me. It was funny, too, because my first buck was a 5-point, then a 6, then a 7, then an 8, then a 9. Then I killed another 9, then a 14, I think. But, anyway, if they're close in size, I would just say the 10's bigger. If they're not, whichever one looks bigger. You could score them if you want, if you really want to know, like, all that. But the thing about, if you score them, probably do a gross score. Net scores are always just kind of, I don't know. I don't like deductions, is all I'm getting at. Is there a region that Call of the Wild should not do? I don't think so. I think anything that's got a variety of game species, particularly ones that are not already in the game, would be a good choice. Is Call of the Wild the best hunting game ever made? I wouldn't say it's the best simulation of hunting. I think it's the best hunting game ever made in the sense that it has done the best job out of any hunting game ever at striking a balance between fun and realism. Otherwise, it wouldn't be the most played hunting game out there by far. Fun fact, Gordon Ramsay was at the Eras Tour last night. Gordon Ramsay's a Swiftie confirmed. I'm late, what I missed? We actually killed a piebald today. We got a nice little gold pie. 194.3 or so. We made gold by all of like 0.3, so that was nice. Great stream. Time for ice cream. Chocolate chip is hot here. I live upstairs. Oh, I feel it. Always upstairs, always way warmer. Our downstairs is probably like 71 degrees. It's probably not even bad. And this room, I'd guess it's 80? Something like that. They have pups during fawning, and I believe I saw somewhere that a den will get 4 to 5 during fawning. I think we have 2 pairs of coyotes, so in theory we're losing like close to 10 fawns a year. Oh, thought that was a 5 for a minute. So we're killing a lot of big 4s. That's encouraging. Just need the big boys to pop up. Or as I said earlier, really we just need one particular big boy to show up. What's the Eras Tour? That's Taylor Swift's current stadium tour. Did I miss anything? You did actually miss a gold piebald. Barely a gold, but a gold nonetheless. And actually, with those 2 shots, provided that we hit a lung, and we did, we're going to take that piebald back to the trophy lodge and wrap this one up. I'm thinking, so, turkey season here in PA ends tomorrow. I'm going to try to get out. I don't know if I'll go in the morning because I just can't help but think EW's probably got something planned, and I want to be here for that stream. I can get back in time, though. Anyway, what I'm slowly reaching is, I think maybe these next couple of weeks in the lead up to the Emerald Coast release, I'm going to try to do some, like, lengthy grinding streams. Probably mostly moose. Maybe we'll do a goose grind stream, though it's just very boring to grind geese. Just kind of, you know, see if we can luck into getting one of those things. The way that I think about it right now is, let's say we don't get a Great One Moose before Australia. What I'd like to do is at least get those 2 diamond geese we're missing from Reb and Thule before then, because what that would allow us to do is try to get all the new diamonds from Australia, try to get a fallow Great One. If we can get that done by, like, August, we get back into the moose and black bear Great Ones, and maybe there's enough time to actually achieve those before the, what, winter map would probably be the next Great One. That's where I'm at right now. I feel like the fallow Great One should be far more achievable. I think we could do that quickly. If we can get these few remaining diamonds that we're missing, that would be great. If we could somehow get a Great One Moose before Australia, I think we have a real shot, as annoying as it'll be, to grind bears all summer. Hopefully get that. And maybe be at a point, for the first time in like a year and a half, that we have all the things in the game again. So we shall see. Good luck on the giblets. Thank you, man. I will need all the luck. I heard a couple this morning, so I guess I'm going to go hunt down in that area tomorrow. Anyway, on that note, that is indeed going to do it for this stream. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for hanging out today, and I will see you in tomorrow's video, or possibly multiple videos, depending on what EW does on their stream. Bye!